A classic way to celebrate summer, as well as our country's 250th birthday, is to pile in the car and take a road trip to South Dakota. Your bucket list guide, Justin Walter, joined us with tips and ideas for a sensational South Dakota adventure.
Justin, we always love having you on Coco, so thank you for joining us today. And let's jump right in. I have never been to South Dakota, but I've always wanted to go. So what makes it such a top road trip destination?
Well, you're in for a treat because South Dakota is a one-of-a-kind trip where we get to explore our country's beautiful land and rich history. And what's great is travelers can fly to Rapid City, South Dakota, rent a car, and then immediately embark on an Americana multi-day road trip that is epic. So I'm gonna recommend some bucket list musts. It's the national park offerings. You have to go to Mount Rushmore National Memorial. You know, going there, photos and pictures and video does not do it justice. I was inspired. I was jaw-dropped inspired by being there. And it took 14 years for them to carve those iconic presidential faces into the Black Hills. And it really is a unique way to experience our country's history. I'm gonna recommend driving to Mount Rushmore. You wanna take Iron Mountain Road. It is a single-lane highway with epic views through tunnels of Mount Rushmore as you're going towards Mount Rushmore. So you wanna get on that 17-mile highway. And then Badlands National Park is a must. It is an iconic road trip national park. There's a 39-mile drive that you can do. And what's awesome is you can stop along the way, go to epic views, dramatic landscapes. There's bison, there's wildlife, and it's open 24/7, 365 days a week. And there's also an open hike policy so you can hike off trail.
Oh, that's very cool. Also kind of scary, but exciting, right? Okay, other than the national parks, what are some of the other must-see places that we cannot miss?
I have 3 words for you: Custer State Park. This is gonna give you an Americana safari adventure right here in the States. Custer State Park is the largest state park in South Dakota, 71,000 acres of pristine landscape full of wildlife. So there is actually an 18-mile wildlife loop where you can drive right through the action. You can see wild burros, prairie dogs, pronghorn sheep, and herds of bison right outside your car window. It's truly a safari experience in the United States. Also, Custer State Park has Sylvan Lake, so it's a great mid-road trip pit stop to get out on the lake. You can go kayaking, stand-up paddle boarding, you can go rock climbing on the granite boulders in the area, you can go hiking, or just sit by the lake and enjoy the beautiful scenery. And then driving out of Custer State Park, you're gonna go through Needles Highway, which is again a beautiful highway with granite spires and iconic tunnels to drive through.
Oh, that sounds so cool. Okay, let's say we want to get out of the car for a little pit stop. I heard there's some really quirky roadside places we can stop. Tell me about that.
Sure, yeah. Getting out of the car is so important in South Dakota. You want to go to Deadwood and Waldrug. These are iconic pit stops on an Americana road trip in South Dakota. What's great is Deadwood is kind of it's a living gold rush era town. There's historic architecture. They do live reenactments of shootings. So it's a really cool Old West town to visit in Deadwood. And then Waldrug is an iconic, kitschy, world famous pit stop. It's a Western frontier town. There's animatronic animals like gorillas playing pianos and T-Rexes. There's 26 retail stores. It's awesome. And then if you want to get out in the car to nature, I recommend going fly fishing in Spearfish Canyon. It's amazing, beautiful nature. And then there's also hot springs you can go to as well in the South Dakota area.
So there are tons of things to do in South Dakota. I am in, Justin. Thank you so much for joining us today, and as always.
You're welcome. So much to do there. You're going to love it.
South Dakota is one of those road trips you will never forget. Very American and so much fun. For more information and to start planning, go to travelsouthdakota.com. And if you want more inspiration from travel expert Justin Walter, check out yourbucketlistguide.com. On socials at yourbucketlistguide. He sponsored today's segment.